Where did it go? Did you press record?
Yes, is doing recording.
I'm just checking because the last thing I'm going to do is do the whole thing.
We are doing recording.
And then you haven't pressed the record button. I'm just asking. Yes, better safe than sorry.
It's doing recording.
You're not going to talk about the whole video, are you?
We are doing recording.
Oh boy.
Today we are talking about food.
Hush!
We are going to be talking about feeding our animals.
I thought I was supposed to start. Hi YouTube, we are here with another video. So for those of you who have seen our previous content, you know that we put out, I think last week or the week before, we hit 100 subscribers, and so we were really happy about that. That was a bit of a milestone for us.
That's right.
We put out a video that was just thanking everybody that's subscribed and that's watched us so far. We're really happy to kind of be on this journey with you. We had asked our subscribers to kind of give us an idea or as a kind of a list or what they wanted to see, or things that they liked viewing. So one of our subscribers actually chimed in by the name of Jeff, and he said he had a question. He wanted to know what would happen and what we would do if the feed stores closed and how we would feed our animals, which is a very valid question.
Absolutely, good question.
Quite the loaded question for things these days. So we're going to take some time and answer that question now. We've got a few ideas.
Yeah, we actually sat down and thought this out, and I've thought about it before, but you know, like, you come up with some better ideas as you sit down and actually think about it. So yeah, you can start with them if you want. We've got some notes.
Absolutely. So I mean, there's many farmers around, not just around us, but around just in general. There's farmers around that have supplies if things run out. So you're obviously going to be in. It's going to take a while before things actually get to the point where you don't have anything left. However, if feed stores close, that's then your signal to kind of ration things out so that you know what you can do. But in terms of us, that would be what we would do. Our first thing would kind of be to check with other farmers. There's lots of other farmers that have supplies that they could maybe ship us or give us or whatever, that we could buy from them or that we could barter from them. If the idea is that money is no longer useful, then obviously it would be the barter system. But as long as you've got money going to be able to buy something, we would be able to buy stuff. So if farmers didn't have any, because at some point, like I said, that is going to run out, whether it's our supplies or another person's supplies or other farmers' supplies, at some point, if the machinery is not there and nothing's working, you're gonna run out of supplies at some point.
Yeah, you got bigger problems at that point.
Bigger problems at that point. Yeah. Yes. So that would be hard times. Then we would be left with some other alternatives of what we can just do ourselves. And being reliant on us only. So the goats and the rabbits throughout the summer and the spring, summer, and the fall are pretty much self-sustained. They eat around during the year. The goats definitely eat quite a few things. They ate quite a few things this year that they weren't supposed to. So we're going to make sure we're on track for that next year by making sure they don't touch things they're not supposed to. But the goats and the rabbits, point being, would be that they would eat around during the year. There's lots of grass. There's lots of flowers. There's lots of other plants they can eat around. They'd basically be like they were in the wild.
Just a quick note on that too. I will be building what we call a rabbit tractor, or some people call them a chicken tractor. You can use them for chickens or rabbits. I'll be building that in the coming months. So that's going to be one example that you can kind of contain your animals and feed them free range without them actually just scattering everywhere.
Yeah. Which is an issue for smaller animals. And the first set of goats that we got, that decided they didn't want to stick around.
Yes. Which actually have been spotted in the neighborhood.
Yes. So we'll see what happens, but at this point, it's
I'm
fair
going to
game for everything.
Shoot to kill. It's been too
later.
long now. Yeah.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
That's right.
So during the spring and the summer and the fall, that would be how we'd handle that. We'd have a lot more work on our hands with harvesting grass or having our own hay, doing that for the winter, obviously, because the goats and the rabbits are going to need to eat something over the winter when there's 6 feet of snow on the ground. So we'd have a lot more work on our hands in the 3 seasons that we do have, that we'd be able to harvest grass for food for them for the winter.
Absolutely. And there's lots of like other parts of land, and just not on our acreage here, but just in the area alone, we can go around and use a SAI and cut it down. And like Kimberly said, it's a lot more work, but at that point in time, what else do you have to do but survive, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah, precisely. Precisely.
Should I do the next ones then?
Yes.
Perfect. The next ones, which would be our dogs, I would actually look at those first than any other animals, because those are what's going to be protecting a lot of the property, and if you're in tough times, you're going to want protection on the property. So you're going to, we already supplement the dogs with our rabbits that we have on the property. We do sell them to the locals when people come by, and we also have enough meat at the moment that we don't need the rabbits, so we'll just pop them off and give them to the dogs. And as well, when I'm butchering the chickens, I'm pulling out the guts, giving them part of the guts, the chicken necks, the feet, the wing tips, if they want that. Sometimes they do, and they'll eat the whole head of the chicken as well.
Stuff that we wouldn't use.
Absolutely, and then no other animal on the homestead would eat that either, so you won't have the goats eating that, or the rabbits, or the chickens, because they're not that type, obviously. On that note of chickens, we have egg layers, and the eggs are already fertilized by our roosters, so I would just incubate the eggs, raise new chickens up, and yeah, it's not, the egg layers aren't as big as meat birds, but it's food in the end, so I would just keep that cycle going on, and feed the dogs actual full chickens as well. The next option after that would be to shoot or trap. So around here we have an abundance of wildlife, so you get a bear or a moose, you're stacked for not only the humans and the animals, but for a very long time too.
Yeah.
We found out this year that our dogs love porcupines, just not the quills, obviously, and I don't like the quills either. Lots of pheasants as well. So we have 3 different types of, not pheasants, grouse, that's right. We have 3 different types of grouse out here, so we could always take those out. And luckily I found out they can get taken out by a slingshot, so I got a slingshot for myself, just so I don't have to use ammunition to take out such a easy target. What else we got here? I would also do a lot more fishing. Yeah, dogs aren't supposed to technically eat fish, but you know, when you're hungry, the dog will eat basically anything. We've seen them eat some fish when we've gone fishing, and they'll try it out. If they're hungry, they'll eat a little bit.
Roxy will even go and catch birds.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, too. She's a little hunter too, so yeah. Right out
of the sky.
So another thing is that you might not have thought of is farmers, even though let me rephrase that. Even though they have livestock, not all their livestock survives the birth. So all their offspring don't survive. So any of their dead offspring you can take and feed to your dogs. So for instance, you could feed your dog any calf that dies, or a horse that dies by accident or at birth. And yes, dogs do eat horse meat. What else we got here? I think that's it for the dogs. Now the chickens, we would feed strictly scrap food. So anything that we already have scraps, we have a container in the kitchen. We put all our daily scraps in there, and then take it back out to the chickens and give that to them outside, and they kind of just peck at that. So if things did get out of hand where there was no chicken feed anymore, we would just double down on that, and actually, because not everybody has chickens or livestock on their properties around here, or in the community, we would just drive around the community, pick up all their food scraps and bring it back, and then feed our chickens with that. And in the summer and when in the nicer weather, we would obviously let the chickens free range in a more broader area, just so that they can pick at more of the bugs and the insects that are on the ground at that point in time.
Yeah.
I think that covers all the bases.
That covers everything.
Yeah.
It would be a lot more work, essentially, and it
Yeah.
would be a lot more involvement. It would require a little bit more organization and planning on our part. But for the most part, we do try to supplement as much as we can with natural.
But you got to
natural
also
feed.
understand that if the feed grains are shutting down and the animals don't have food, now that means also us humans are not going to have food in the grocery stores. So it's going to be a chain reaction. So it's not only us that are the animals that are going to be looking for food. Us humans are going to be looking and hunting for food as well. So it's going to be a lot more than
just the animals.
Just the animals, yeah. We might be eating some of those animals.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Precisely. Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for joining us. Jeff, thanks for the question. Anybody else have some questions or videos that they'd like to see, or questions that they have on certain scenarios like our viewer Jeff had, please leave them in the comments below and we'll be
Make
sure
we
to
get to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, take care.